Hi there folks, I'm just here at the British Cider Championships at the Royal Bath and West Show. For anybody who hasn't been to the Royal Bath and West Show, this is one of the great agricultural shows that we have here in the UK. So there are cows and sheep and pigs which are displayed, and then there's a competition, showing they call it. And then also you've got a big main arena where there's lots of sort of horse riding, and there's demonstrations of chopping down trees and flying birds of prey and all sorts. And of course, the orchard and cider pavilion here, including these British Cider Championships, which is the biggest cider competition in Europe. Only Glintcap, the Great Lakes International Cider and Perry competition, hosted in Grand Rapids, Michigan, would be bigger, to my knowledge. And what's really interesting is that we're here in Somerset. This is the sort of one of the traditional heartland areas of cider making, and this is what used to be the absolute bedrock. Look, this amazing display of, these are what they call the farmhouse classes. Now what that means is that this is cider which has been drawn out of the barrel or the tank. It's a still product. It's presented in these wonderful demijohns, which is a UK imperial gallon, 4.546 something liters. And and there are different categories of dry, or then medium or sweet. So either that it has not finished its fermentation, or they've added some sugar back post fermentation. Cider and perry, and given that it's Somerset, we're talking southwest of England, we're talking tannin. So in the last few years they've also created categories specifically for more acid driven fruit as well, because of the growth of that type of drink. But whereas a few years ago, there are three sides to this place here. 1, 2, 3. It used to be that two of these sides were covered in the demijohns, and today it's only 1/3. There's been a much bigger growth in the bottled categories. So these are ones which are just sort of packaged, presented in any style, so it can be carbonated as well. And there's also traditional methods, pet nat and bottle conditioned, which is what I was actually judging today. And obviously there's lots of ciders which are not just being presented in bottles, but in cans as well. Look, so we see some amazing design. And look at this blooming huge magnum. I haven't seen them before. And that is from our friends at Royal Orchard down in mid-Devon. And so it's a great showcase, and the cider industry comes together here as well. It's one of the key events on the cider calendar. I can't speak for the rest of the show. I was only judging one category. I was judging naturally sparkling, not disgorged. So that would be keeved products, other pet nat products, primary fermentation, finished in the bottle. Bottle conditioned as well, and there was a mixture of some more acid driven, mostly tannic driven, especially those that were keeved. And interestingly, the primary thing which came to the fore was there were lots of phenolic characters that were into slightly sort of sweaty horse farming territory, which is not to be unexpected, but quite a lot of acetaldehyde. Now acetaldehyde you don't often come across, and this is when you get part ferments like you would from a keeve. And forgive my lack of understanding of the metabolic pathways, but there's an incomplete conversion of the sugar into alcohol. It's like a stalling, or it's a part-way process. And acetaldehyde is something which displays as, well, in the beer world, it's it would be called green apple. But, there's quite a lot of green apples in cider often. So when it's at a high enough threshold to be able to identify, it's like paint, emulsion paint. And there really were some emulsion paint, which is generally not something that's enjoyable within cider. And so with these keeved ciders, sometimes it's a sulfide character which comes to the fore because the yeast is a bit stressed, but actually it was this acetaldehyde. So there we go, we learn something new every single time. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little bit of a look at what it's like to be here at the Royal Bath and West Show. Let's do a little whiz around. I might get a bit seasick by having a look at all of these bottles. It's pretty cool, huh? There we go. I'll leave it at that. Cheers folks, see you soon.